Torghast is incredible. That's a 10 million.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Torghast.
That's good.
I was so excited for this place. For so long, we've been asking Blizzard to let us just kind of let loose and have fun without wrecking the game. And Warfronts and Islands seemed like the perfect opportunity for that, where we could have had vehicles and crazy things happening. But it's localized in those environments. And now they've finally done it, and boy, did they do a good job. For a first draft, my God, they should be proud of themselves.
Yeah, this is a very good first draft.
Torghast finally launched. We can only do it on 4 classes right now, which are all the Clothies and the Demon Hunter.
All the classes I suck with, basically.
The Anima powers and the Bastion powers. The Covenant powers, no doubt. So they want to make sure there's lots of testing focused on there. And one of the great things Blizzard has done is give us Torghast early. Because Torghast is going to be
I was worried this is going to come out way later.
An ongoing thing throughout the entire expansion. You'll be done with the zone storylines. You'll be done with that stuff at some point, probably the first few days for many of you. But Torghast is going to be your weekly thing. This is where you get your crafted legendaries, get your recipes, get some soulbind stuff. This
You're
all
going to be spending a lot of time in here.
So it's important that they get it right. And that's why they've given it us, like,
Absolutely.
at the beginning of the alpha test. Like, get in there. Get testing it now. We need this testing as much as possible. And that is exactly what we're doing. They've said this is the true alpha state. I'm going to quote them here. Torghast experience, as it is right now, is a true alpha state. It is not yet feature complete. Many design decisions are still being made. Due to our desire to get pointed feedback on class-specific anima powers, we're only testing a few classes at this time. When it becomes available to play on the alpha, the following classes will be available that I just mentioned, and we'll keep you updated. Which means what you're seeing now is the early bare-bones version, which is why I'm astonished at how good this place is. So what is Torghast? The Tower of the Dead.
Torghast is the place that we're watching the video for, but right now, we're just going to get the mount real quick. If I get this mount, I boost another character. Here we go.
Damned. And I will point out this is one of 2 videos. In the description down below, you'll actually find a link to a longer video, including Mr. Fingal, who's been helping do all our class guides with his take on it and a more in-depth discussion. But I'm going to give you the overview. It's randomized as much as it can possibly be. The layouts and all that kind of stuff are as random as they can possibly be. And when I say random, you might have seen some people, I'm using quotation marks here, complete Torghast by reaching level 72, where it currently ends. I do believe this thing is supposed to go on forever. And trust me when I tell you, the way that is done is by re-rolling, because we can enter as many times as we want, re-rolling Torghast until you get a favorable start.
I am so glad that Preach says that, because I had to try it 3 different times, and I felt like a fucking failure. And the fact that, like, I was watching Preach, and he was, like, he's saying this, and then I was watching Quinn yesterday. Holy fuck, he just completely shit the bed. Like, he was running through the different levels, and all of his gear was red on this Night Elf Priest, and he just kept dying, and he was trying to 1v1 a Marat, and he almost lost. It was so fucking funny, and, like, my self-confidence was, like, just exponentially doubling by every second that I was watching it. It was amazing.
If that doesn't remind many of you of the Binding of Isaac, I don't know what will. That is what they're going for, a roguelike experience. So people are re-rolling Torghast as much as possible to begin the heroic mode. Now, currently in the alpha, we have 5 choices. We have 2 which are labeled as quest, which introduce you to the 2 different areas.
That's the easy shit.
The mainstay areas, and they're very short. They finish at like level 6. So they're just kind of an introduction, show you how it works, give you a layout, not particularly difficult. Then we have the choice of easy, normal, and heroic. Now, from what I know, when this goes live, there'll be none of those choices. You won't have easy, normal,
all that is like...
Well, the way it works right now is easy starts you at floor 1.
I want to say, like, just basically probably what Preach is going to say. People ask me, whenever I said I finished Torghast on the alpha, they were like, I thought it was infinite. It's going to be infinite on live servers. It's only like this on the alpha for testing purposes. Just so everybody knows that.
Normal starts you about floor 12, I think it is, or it might be earlier. And if you choose heroic, that starts you at floor 24. But it also starts each of those modes with no anima powers. This means that on heroic, the first couple of levels, like level 24, is so hard, it's unbelievable. That's why people are re-rolling it constantly to try and get a favorable start in Heroic. I mean, when I say favorable, something that's doable. Like, we tried this 5-man, because you can do this either solo or you can do it 5-man.
Shit, they're getting deleted.
I will point out that healers are fine in here, tanks are fine in here, and DPS is fine in here.
Oh my god.
We tried it 5-man, and we just got wiped over and over again.
What the fuck?
Until we got one we could actually
That's insane.
Like, we were streaming one of our runs with a 3-man in Heroic, and we came up
I
against
feel so
a
good
deer
about myself right now.
that had so much health, it would have taken us about 25 minutes to kill.
This is great.
One of the greatest things about Torghast is the anima powers. As I said, they're letting you go mad in here. This is the pit of hell. Things don't make sense anymore. And it's all about building a build, an actual build.
Or just clicking every single critical strike damage one that you can possibly get. I actually wrote out, I'm about halfway through with a twit longer about Torghast. And if you guys want, I'll read it out to you guys and we'll look over it together. And I wrote out all of it last night. And I'm going to post it probably tonight after I finish everything.
And that's what they're trying to get you to do, is your abilities start to combo and mount on top of each other. And you do end up, because you often get a choice, what anima power do you want to take? So it might give you something like on a Demon Hunter, a Blade Dance reduction.
Yes.
Or it might give you immunity during I-Beam. Which one do you want to go with? Oh, the next 3 you got, let's say you chose immunity during I-Beam, the next 3 you got all were buffs to Blade Dance, reducing the cooldown by 3 seconds each time. So your Blade Dance, after a few of those, is basically has no cooldown, increasing its damage massively, buffing it with Immolation Aura. All these kind of things start to stack on top of it. And
Look at those numbers.
I'm really
reading. You want me to read to you guys? You guys can sit on my lap, and I'll read you everything about Torghast. I can take a piss. I'll be right back.
hoping for that I-Beam thing, because that's what I wanted to go into. And you start thinking about that when you click the anima powers. It's like, I really hope I get this one in here. And they're separated out by quality level. There are some epic anima powers, which are very, very powerful.
Very good.
Then you get the blues and the greens and eventually
the grays, which are actually
like
the highest scaling
when
ones.
you kill a Morat, which are just trash mobs in the room, they explode. But if you pick up, say, 20 Morat explosions, suddenly they're wiping out entire packs.
It's like a nuclear bomb.
Don't underestimate any combination of powers that you get in here. Let's talk. That's the good stuff. The good stuff is it's entirely random. I've done Torghast now so many times. No run has been the same. We've definitely come across the same powers coming back, so that might be something they build in the future. Let's talk about the criticism of this alpha state, so that maybe they should take away with it. One, the classes become, or your character becomes way too powerful at a point where nothing makes sense anymore, and you just one-shot the entire dungeon. For context, Finn on his Disc Priest has completed Torghast. He's reached level 72, and he has killed Turghast the Unkillable. This is not time-based, which I know many of you will be happy about. Like, you can go for a break.
Oh, shit. Is he about to do it?
Groups. They are looking to change that a little bit, so people don't just wait for Bloodlust every time they do a pack. Things like that. So they're trying to do something along those lines, but they really don't want to put a timer in there. Instead, it's based on deaths.
I don't want to see a timer either. Like, I talked about this before. Like, I really don't want to see a timer happening in Torghast. Like, obviously, they might have to do something, but I think that they should try to release it without the timer, and then just see what players do and how they acclimate to it, rather than immediately adding the timer at the beginning, you know? At least try it without a timer.
Deaths per floor. It will reset when you move to a new floor. And if you reach that limit, Terragru is coming for you.
There's the
this
big boy.
Giant monolithic beast
shit.
is coming for you. And it just says if he reaches you, he will kill you.
Let
me tell you, if somebody who's died to him, he does kill you.
Yeah,
now, you've probably seen people actually killing him. Yes, it is possible right now to kill him, although in the alpha preview notes, it does say he is unkillable. It says the Terragru cannot be defeated. Well, there are whispers that it's possible to slow him. You can CC him. You can slow him down. You can also kite him, which we had somebody do for us while we finished the boss, is we literally had someone kiting him in circles. So I imagine the Terragru is going to undergo massive changes. They want him to be terrifying and going to kill you, this giant lumbering beast, and he is such a wonderful model. Like,
he looks fucking awesome.
Like, make something
yeah, that's
terrifying.
very true.
I got this, fam, and he went to town on it. He absolutely went to town on it. What a good job they've done there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Some criticisms then. You completely at a certain point, there's like a break point where you outscale everything that's on every floor.
Yep.
So I've no doubt they're going to either bump up the difficulty or go for pure. This is the company that made Diablo. They know what they're doing with this stuff, right? Once you start doing millions of damage, which you definitely do, they need to either counter that with mobs, or they need to slow down the rate of your scaling. Because right now they're giving us like 10% crit damage, which you can keep getting and keep picking up. Especially the more floors you go, the more chances you get. And then eventually you can end up with like 300-400% crit damage. And you're just doing so much stuff, because you can also pick up critical strike. And you have 100% crit. You can have 100% of everything else, if not more.
I want to just pause this and say, that's literally right there. That is number 2 on my feedback. That is number 2. Like, Preach and I, there it is, right there.
And at that point, you're just destroying absolutely everything. And the mobs don't stand a chance. So at that point, to give it in context, it's taking some people like 2 hours to do the first couple of floors on Heroic. Finn took, I think, 2 hours to do the first
like 2 minutes for the last ones.
The last 15 or so floors took him half an hour.
Yep.
Right? That's the kind of scaling you're going to see as you move up
right now. That's
so
a little bit much, dude.
They're either going to reduce how quickly you scale or make the mobs crazy. What I would love to see, Blizzard, honestly, is you start throwing raid bosses in there. Like, why not? Because they can literally do anything they want in there. So I would love to see that in certain rooms we start seeing these raid bosses, because these things are supposed to be the worst of the worst of the dead of the dead of the worst of the worst. Go mad in there. Have fun with it. Throw some crazy stuff in there. The levels are, for the most part, as best you can tell, randomly generated. But what they have admitted to is we couldn't make it purely random.
That's cool.
So what they've done is created an absolutely enormous amount of sections. Yeah. And then the level kind of plugs them all into random orders. To the point where only if you're doing so many floors will an area really seem familiar. We've seen...
Well, it's like there's about 10 layouts, and they have the same thing in Diablo, right? Where there's like 3 different roles. There's the role for what tile set you get, what like the layout of the map is. And then there's the role for what the type of mobs are. And then there's the role for what the type of boss is. So there's just different roles for different chunks. There's like 40 rooms. I think it's like 20.
Themselves, they go up vertically as well as horizontally. All different kinds of things. That has led in some occasions to pillars being out in the ether, because I can't be any clearer here. The environments themselves are so good.
Yes.
So good.
Big true.
That can only be accessible by demon hunters. Especially if you picked up certain
That's why they're
abilities.
the hero
we
class.
were in a group with Just Wait, who was lucky to get the Fell Rush extension by 100%. And he did this enormous leap. He was like, I could do it. And then he went off on his own. We all had to watch as he picked up extra powers than we had. Maybe they want to look at that.
Oh, I bet he's talking about that place that I went to.
Like, oh.
Yeah, that might be that place that I went to.
Things like that. It needs tweaking. I'll also say the fun class abilities aren't exactly balanced yet. Like, I've done it on Mage and Demon Hunter mostly. Demon Hunter is hilarious fun. I cannot wait to get a warrior in here.
They're completely balanced.
Torghast is going to be a reason that a lot of players level their alts all on its own.
Actually, like, you know what? That might be true.
One of the zones, and
that's
Torghast,
a really good way of looking at it.
Now, people are going to level alts just to piss about in Torghast. That's going to happen. But on top of that,
I think Torghast will be more influential for the game than Mythic Plus was. I think Torghast will actually be more influential for the game than Mythic Plus. Maybe I'm wrong, but I certainly hope that I'm not.
My mage didn't really get fun ones. He got like...
Wait, you guys don't think so? Really? Why do you not think so? You can play it solo. That's what makes it really good. Like, you can play it solo. It's infinitely scaling. It gives rewards that are compelling. Like, I think that it will be more influential than Mythic Plus, if done right. I mean, obviously Blizzard could fuck it up, but I think it could be.
Alt reduction, some mirror image stuff, and basically like stuff that modified Time Warp. You know, Bloodlust debuff lasts longer. The debuff, the actual buff lasts longer. Stuff like that. And it's like, compared to the 0 cooldown Fel Rush that I had on my Demon Hunter, it's not as good. Although mages do get moving ice block with an ability called Warm Socks, which is hilarious. They did get you can only blink and you can't move, and they have some really funny negatives.
See, that's the one you guys wanted me to take.
You're unable to backpedal anymore. You can get one where you're not allowed to jump anymore. You gain a big buff, but you can't jump anymore, which cripples Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I could never do that.
You gain a big buff, but you can no longer walk backwards. You literally press the key and nothing happens. Things like that are really fun. But I would say
that's actually what it does.
Mages didn't seem to get as much fun stuff. They did get some cool stuff where they had to remember like a DDR puzzle. They had to cast certain mage spells in an order in order to gain a buff per floor, which was really fun. They had to like, they could see it, but then they had
so
to
annoying,
etc., etc.
I didn't like that at all.
That was kind of fun, but more class-based fun stuff would be fun to see. That would be really nice to see.
Actually, this is an interesting question.
Something I missed, but definitely see.
So, well, let me finish the video. Sorry,
favorable towards the Demon Hunter. As I said, healers are fine here. Finn did it on his Disc Priest. Holy seems okay too, but mind control and things like that are all invaluable. So far, guys, Torghast looks amazing.
Agreed.
I can't wait to see how this develops. I cannot wait. I mean, how good is Shadowlands looking right now?
Pretty good.
Unreal. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
I agree with pretty much everything you said. Like, everything you said, in my opinion. And let me just ask you guys a really interesting question. Do you find Torghast more interesting to watch than Mythic Plus? Is Torghast more interesting to watch than Mythic Plus? So if everybody's saying yes, it's more interesting to watch, then why would it not be more successful than Mythic Plus? I don't know. I feel like those two things kind of go hand in hand. Because if something's really interesting to watch, then it's probably going to be more fun to play. I don't know. It's new? Or you guys think... So you think that because it's new, it's going to be interesting to watch, and because a lot of you guys can't play it, you're more like compelled to watch it because it's new, and then as time goes on, you'll be like, okay, I've seen this enough times, now I want something else. You know what? Maybe that'll be the case. I think honestly, like, that's one of those things where I can't even begin to. I'm not going to go through the whole 30-minute video. I'm just clicking on it right now. I'd rather watch Paint Dry than Mythic Plus. Fuck, dude, what's the difference? Like, I mean, really. It's the same for literally everything. Well, yes, but it's like the degree of diminishing returns. So, for example, I think that Torghast is going to be more interesting than Mythic Plus. So here are a number of reasons why I think this. Number one is because it's more dynamic. And this is basically the main reason why I think it's going to be better, is the fact that you have more different ways that change the run. And for example, if you watch a Mythic Plus run, you've pretty much seen every single Mythic Plus run. But if you watch a Torghast run, every single one is slightly different until you get to the end where everybody pretty much has all of the same abilities. And that's whenever things do really